Brian.
Jason.
And this is Perfectly Screwed Podcast, episode 61. Now, normally we
Part
jump...
two.
Yeah, part two. Normally we jump, like I said, we talk a little bit, but we're going to jump right into it because this is a part two of Mr. Gary Ridgeway. So if you haven't listened to episode 60... please go back and listen to that one first, because then you won't understand what the fuck we're talking about in episode 61. So, if you haven't listened to the last episode, listen to the last one first and then listen to this one. So, if this is your first time listening, we're going to tell the drinking game up front and real quick. The drinking game is this. We have a game here on Perfectly Screwed, and the game is this. If I fuck up a word, if I stumble over my tongue, if I do not say a word right, please feel free to take a shot. We would enjoy all of you to be alcoholics today. If you're driving, please don't.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself.
There are Ubers available. Hey!
Hey!
That's not a shot, though.
God damn it.
I'm not part of the game.
I think you should be.
I very rarely fuck up.
Yeah, that was like a rare one. You should take 2 shots because Jason never fucks up.
Right.
And I swear to God. Me, on the other hand, I do quite frequently. There was one episode, I swear to God, if you took a shot every time I fucked up, you would have been so drunk you wouldn't have heard the end of the episode.
Well, because it was like 6 and like...
Oh, yeah. It was like,
in like 3-minute span. Mm-hmm. It was like thunderstruck.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell was happening either, because I was completely sober during the episode. I literally had nothing to smoke, nothing to drink.
That was the problem.
Well, I'm sober today, and I feel I'm doing just fine. But anyways, we're back to Mr. Ridgeway. And to catch you up, we were talking about some of the things that he did and where he dumped his victims. So to get back into it, we'll start talking about where he killed most of his victims, as I was saying in the last episode, in Seattle, Tacoma, and some in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
So the bodies where he left them were left in clusters, and this sick fuck not only left the bodies like together in clusters, right? But he would pose them, usually nude, in different positions, sometimes sexual. Like they were fucking each other.
Really?
Yeah, just for shits and giggles. He did this.
Wow.
Now, Ridgeway would return most often to the victims' bodies and later on have sexual intercourse with them. Some of them weeks and months later. Months later.
He would go back months later.
And fuck them.
The dead bodies.
The dead bodies. Weeks and months later, yes.
Well, he already had gonorrhea.
Well, this is the point, though. This is Washington.
And I just wanted to give a little, just for the listeners out there, Seattle to Portland is about 175 miles. So I just want everybody
to know. Yeah, that's a hell of a stretch.
What stretch of land we're talking, he's pretty much killing people in.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. What was you saying about the...
Well, I'm saying this is Seattle. So...
He was getting ready to say something about fucking dead bodies.
Well, yeah, fucking dead bodies in Seattle. Seattle, first of all, has a lot of rain. It's a very moist, very warm environment.
Yes.
It's not cold in Seattle very often.
No, it's almost rainforest.
Right, so you would have a very humid, very perfect atmosphere for decay is what I'm getting at.
Oh, my God.
Especially out in a wooded area where animals could get to the bodies.
Fucking Bigfoot's out there fucking gnawing on these motherfuckers.
Right. So
Gary's going back 2 months later.
Right. I'm just putting it out there that we're talking about a very humid, very moist climate out in the wild, and this motherfucker's going back weeks and months later to fuck rotting, bloated, decaying corpses.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Nuts is beyond. Look, I get it. They're fresh. You're fucking them from behind, and you just get the urge to strangle them. Okay, I'm with you on that one.
I can completely back you on that.
Right. I got you there, buddy. Okay?
But where you're losing me
is going back months later and fucking a rotting, bloated corpse that is probably gnawed on by a coyote.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about the bloating.
Yeah. Bloating, rotting, discolored corpse with moss growing on it, and coyotes probably getting on there and
I mean,
bears.
I've fucked some nasty chicks.
I mean, Jesus.
But
I've been hard up, but I've never been that hard up. God damn. I mean, I understand, look, like when Marilyn Monroe died, there was a few guys tried to fuck her. Okay? And let me tell you something.
Well, that's for nostalgia, if anything.
Well,
but
it's Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
Dead or alive, you fucked Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
And, if you happen to be an Undertaker,
yeah,
and you get
her to death.
Yeah.
Fuck the life right out of that bitch.
And if you happen to be an Undertaker, and you have, fresh, hot corpse right there, still possibly warm. No, don't be fucking dead bodies is my point, okay? I'm joking, clearly. Right. Don't fuck dead bodies.
Especially ones that have been fucking rotting and bloating in the woods for 2 months.
Don't fuck any dead body. It's just nasty, all right? There's just some things you don't do, okay? Sticking your dick in a corpse is one of those, you fucking freak.
Jesus.
What the hell's wrong with you people? Anyways.
Get a hobby.
Ridgeway later said that he did not find necrophilia any more or less sexually satisfying, but having sex with the deceased reduced his need to kill a living victim and thus limited his exposure to being caught. So he said when he started getting the feelings that he would want to kill again, he said the only way he could troll them...
So he could have killed thousands of people had he not been fucking dead bodies.
Right. He said, when he got the urge, he would go fuck a dead body instead. That way...
So instead of sitting here bashing Gary for fucking dead bodies, we should be commending him because it prevented him from killing others. Yeah, suck my dick, Gary.
Listen to this. Most of the bodies were not discovered until they were only skeletons. So, 2 victims of Ridgeway are still completely unidentified. Ridgeway, and this is where we get into his, like I said, if you listen to the first part of this, he was a low IQ, low 80s. But this is where we start getting into how brilliant he was with the police. Okay? He would intentionally contaminate the dump sites with gum, cigarettes, and written materials that he had found around Seattle, Washington. He would go to ashtrays around the city of Washington. He would take rubber gloves and he would pull cigarettes out of the ashtrays that someone else smoked, put them in a baggie. He would take gum that someone else chewed, put them in the baggie. He would take written materials that he found in the trash around Washington, put it in the baggie.
He's using the cops' game against him.
Yeah, then he would take it to the dump site, and he would put the gum on the victim. Or he would put a cigarette butt right where they would find it near the victim.
And these fucking police are that goddamn stupid that they would think that the fucking killer left a piece of gum on there.
Well, then, if you get the DNA...
Fucking idiots.
You don't have his DNA.
No, of course not.
You're barking up a wrong tree at that point.
Yeah. He's sending them on a wild goose chase.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll fall for it because, they have higher IQs than 80 because they're so smart.
He would even take the victims, after dumping them in the Green River, he would take a few of them, pick them back up, drive them across state lines into Oregon, and dump them at a second site just to confuse the police.
Really?
Yep. And then while he was in Oregon...
He's doing a lot of work. The deceased.
Who's fucking up this episode?
The deceased.
Yeah, the deceased.
Fucking them, transporting them, goddamn, dude.
Yeah, but he would take them into Oregon. While he was in Oregon, he would grab the cigarettes and gum and bring the gum and cigarettes back to Washington and put it on other dump sites. I'm sorry, that's just brilliant.
It is, dude.
That's fucking brilliant.
Because think about how fucking confused they are.
Mm-hmm. So now they've got...
They got fucking DNA. We have no idea whose it is.
Yeah, they got DNA. They don't know whose it is. It's from Oregon. It's from Oregon on victims in Washington. Then they got victims from Washington that are found in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
So in the early 1980s, when the Kings County Sheriff's Office figured out that a lot of these victims had the same MO as far as killing, they formed the Green River Task Force to investigate the murders. The task force included Robert Keppel, and David Richer. They eventually interviewed Ted Bundy. And we're going to get into that in just a minute about Bundy. And actually, it's interesting. Bundy is the one who caught Gary Ridgway, or helped.
Really?
He's the only reason they caught Gary Ridgway.
Oh, that is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Ridgway was arrested in 82 and 2001 on charges related to prostitution. So, there's a bunch of prostitutes coming up dead. And they find this guy in 82 fucking prostitutes, so they arrest him as a John. And then in 2001, he's arrested again for fucking prostitutes.
When was he actually convicted? Like, put in for life?
No, listen to this. Hold on. We're getting there. Hold on. Hold on, Skippy.
Okay,
I'm going to give you the dog treat. Just
speed it up a little.
Hold on, Skippy. We're only 11 minutes in. We got a whole episode to go. So he became a suspect in the Green River killings in 1983. And they started questioning about the Green River killings in 1983 after he was picked up in 82 for the prostitution thing. So Ridgway denied all of it. So they said, well, will you take a polygraph test? So in 1984, Ridgway agreed to take the polygraph test and passed 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in 1984, he's such a psychopath, such a sociopath, that he passed the lie detector test with flying colors about killings that he knew for a fact he had committed. Right.
Yeah, which is why the polygraph is fucking bullshit.
So in 87, police took hair and saliva samples from Ridgway. But that doesn't really matter.
No, because he's leaving fucking DNA traces of other people.
So in 85, Ridgway began dating Judith Mawson, who became his third wife, in 1988. Mawson claimed in a 2010 television interview that when she moved into his house while they were dating, there was no carpet, which she found extremely odd.
You know what I find extremely odd is these fucking serial killers have multiple wives.
Yes.
Not just one.
No, multiple.
Multiple women.
Yeah.
Are willing to not just spend time with, not just have sex with, to stand before God and declare their love for these motherfucking serial killers, bro.
Well, yeah, but...
What is fucking wrong with women?
I don't know. But, you don't know the guy's a fucking serial killer. I mean, I'm sure if they knew that he was out strangling prostitutes...
They know.
How do they know?
Because they might not know he's a serial killer, but they know good and goddamn well he's not fucking right. They think they can fix him. You know? We can fix him.
I don't know. Ridgway, for all accounts, everybody said Ridgway was not only normal, but exceptionally normal, like so friendly, amazing, so helpful, such a great Christian go-getter, part of the church, part of the youth group. And in his spare time, he's strangling prostitutes and fucking their bloated corpses and dumping them in the rivers.
But still has time to find wives.
So
guys, fucking
later on, Ridgway admitted that the reason he didn't have carpet in his house is because he used it to wrap up the body.
Vacuuming's not a problem. I needed some spare carpet for some projects I was working on.
Well, if you're strangling women and there might be evidence that you killed them on the carpet, the best way to get rid of the carpet and the body is just to wrap the body in the carpet. Let's be honest.
He's resourceful.
He's resourceful, right. So his third wife said he would leave for work in the early morning some days, saying that it was for overtime pay. But that he never got overtime pay.
Hell no.
She speculated later on that he must have committed some of the murders while he was supposedly working these early morning shifts. No shit. No fucking shit.
He was still working.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting paid.
No shit.
Right.
He tells you he's going in for overtime, no pay comes in, and you think nothing of it at the time. It's perfectly normal that this man's leaving Right. 6 hours early for work.
I started to sense that maybe he was having an affair. Having an affair and killing and choking the victims wasn't never really crossed my mind. I guess he could have been using some of the 6 hours to dig them up and fuck their dead bodies as well.
Well, this is the
funny. I still love him. He's my husband.
This is the funny part. She claims that she had not suspected Ridgeway of any crime before she was contacted by authorities in 1987. And she had not even heard of the Green River Killer before that time because she did not watch the news. How dumb do you have to be, bitch? I mean, seriously.
I don't even know who the fuck Green River Killer is. Gary, have you heard of this guy? Come in here.
She said she didn't watch the news.
You're not going to believe this.
I don't watch the news or read papers, so I know nothing about his spree of killing 90 fucking women. It's cool. He seemed like a great fella to me. I never questioned him about all the overtime he was working where he never got paid for. It's amazing. It's the worst job in history. I go in 6 hours early and don't get paid.
6 hours early, like
never get paid.
So like he's supposed to be at work at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. You don't think going to work at 2 a.m. is a little bit fucking much? Like I can understand. I got to be at 7 this morning, honey. You know what I'm saying? Things are a little backed up. Going to get a little extra overtime pay. I got to go in at 2 a.m. Like, come on.
Well, I can just imagine this is how it went. He gets up at 2. She's like, what are you doing? I'm going in for overtime, honey. Well, why are you carrying garbage bags, gloves, and a rope? Oh, well, they need that.
Why are you cutting up our carpet?
Why are you taking the carpet?
What the fuck's going on? You know these aren't fucking original hardwood floors. Goddamn plywood splintering in my feet, motherfucker.
So in 87, the samples collected in 87 were later on subjected to DNA profiling because in 87 they didn't have the ability to do DNA like they did later. So later the DNA was set for profiling, and that's when they got an arrest warrant. So much later they tested the semen.
Okay. I got it.
And they tested against his DNA, and that's actually how they eventually ended up catching this guy. So on November 30th, 2000 run to
your fridge and grab a bottle and take a shot.
2000 run, that'll be a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay, in 2001, Ridgeway.
2000 and rum.
Yeah. You would think as much as I fuck up words, I am drinking, but I swear to God I'm not. Ridgeway was at the Kenworth truck factory, where he worked as a spray painter, when police arrived while he was at work to arrest him. I mean, they could have at least let him finish his shift. I mean, he came in for overtime and all.
Oh, shit.
I mean,
man, let the guy work.
Yeah. You could have waited till after work to come and get him. At least let him get home, have a couple beers or something.
Now we got a fucking half-painted fucking semi-trailer fucking riding around out there. That ain't anybody's fault but the cops.
Now, when they arrested him, this is the funny part. They only arrested him for 4 murders. 4 murders from 20 years earlier. After he was...
Because that's all they have the DNA for.
Yeah. So when DNA conclusively linked semen left in the victims of the 4 women to saliva swabs... There's a shot. Saliva swabs. Oh my God, I fucked it up a second time. Saliva.
That is kind of a tongue twister. So.
Saliva swabs is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Not saliva swabs. What's a swab?
Charles
Schwab.
What?
Invest in your
future with Gary Ridgeway Baking.
Schwab.
Right?
And you can get some saliva swab.
Your investment stays warm and moist for 2 months.
We guarantee you won't be bloated over this.
The only thing bloated here will be your bank account.
And your corpse.
Right.
Okay. So...
All right, so back to Schwabby.
Yes, back to the swabs that the police took. The 4 victims named in the original indictment were Marsha Chapman, Opal Mills, Cynthia Hines, and Carol Ann Christian. 3 more victims, Wendy Caulfield, Deborah Boner. I swear to God, that's her name.
No.
Yes, Deborah Boner. B-O-N-N-E-R. Deborah Boner was his victim.
Oh, that's got to be Bonner.
He boned her.
That's Bonner.
It's Boner.
2 N's.
Yeah, but Bonner would be a double O.
Right. Boner's better.
Yeah, it's Boner.
He boned her.
B-O-N-N-E-R. That's Boner. Boner. Yeah. It can't be anything but Boner. Bonner would be B-O-O-N-E-R.
Booner.
Yeah, that'd be Booner. You're right. Or B-O-O-N-N-E-R. I'm telling you, it's got to be Boner.
We're going with Boner because it's just a good last name. Right? So, we all wish our last names were Boner.
And Deborah Estes was the other victim.
He probably killed Boner because he was jealous of her last name. Honestly, Gary Boner.
Now, how they got him with the other 3 victims, interestingly enough, is they identified microscopic spray paint spheres of a specific brand and composition used at the Kenworth factory that he used during the time frame when the victims were killed. So, this is the thing. They took microscopic swabs of the other 3 women and found out that the spray paint he used was on him, and then they were on the women. So he's basically getting off work, picking up these women, fucking them, choking them, not even washing, nothing, just choking them after work before he goes home to his wife.
No shit.
Yeah. So, what'd you do today, honey? Well, I worked a hard day. Then I went, killed a couple prostitutes, dumped them in the Green River, and then I thought I'd just stop on home and have some dinner.
Yeah, man. I never thought about the spray. Yeah.
And here's the other thing. How dumb is this bitch? He leaves early. She doesn't question it. Obviously, now he's coming home late, too. That's cool, too, right? No extra money, but...
yeah, leaving her... Yeah.
Working hard.
Dumb bitch.
So... In August of 2003, Seattle Television News reported that Ridgeway had moved from a maximum security cell at King County Jail.
Isn't it odd, though, that these guys, they don't kill their wives? Like, they're able to obviously not have, like, a great relationship or anything, but to carry on an actual relationship with a woman while simultaneously killing other women. It seems like that fantasy or something would strike when they're at home with their wife. Like,
right.
Why are they not killing them,
It obviously did with his first wife, because he would take her to the victim's dump sites and fuck her while...
Right, but not kill her. He didn't kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
It had to be the sex worker thing.
Yeah. But he's not the only one. He's not the only one.
No, because Bundy would kill women
multiple times,
right?
Kill women, but they never killed their wife. Because all their wives, later on, I didn't watch the news.
Yeah,
I don't know who the fucking Green River Killer is. You know what I mean? I don't know who I'm sleeping next to. So I'll just give my pussy up to anybody.
Let's put this in a little perspective, real quick. He had been killing since the 70s. They know for a fact since 1982 there's Green River murders happening. Now, since the 70s there was these murders that they found in the Green River, but they couldn't link them to one person as a serial killer. So the 70s. They did not catch this guy till 2003. Think about that span of time that this motherfucker was killing women, and they never caught his ass.
Yeah.
They kind of were on the track there for a little while, but they could not nail him until 2003, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to look. I don't know what year the DNA testing actually take form. I'll Google it.
Yeah, look that up. When DNA... I think they could do a DNA in the 90s, but I think it really became refined in the early 2000s. Where they got to the point where they could really, really nail you on DNA and stuff. But he took a plea agreement. Ridgeway did.
1986.
1986.
DNA fingerprinting.
Well, that's fingerprinting.
It was first used in forensic science in 1886.
86 or 96?
86.
86. But that's fingerprinting DNA. When did they do like saliva and DNA profiling and all of that?
I'm going to have to read more here.
Oh, okay. Well, then back to this. So he took a plea agreement. He admitted to 48 charges. 48 charges of aggravated first-degree murder as part of a plea bargain. Agreed in June of 2004 that would spare him execution in exchange for his cooperation in locating the remains of his victims and providing other details. In his statement accompanying his guilty plea, Ridgeway explained that he had killed all of those victims inside of King County, Washington, and that he had transported and dumped the remains of 2 women near Portland to confuse the police. They noted in the court documents that the deal contained the names of 41 victims who would not be subject of State versus Ridgeway if it were not for the plea agreement. The prosecutor said, "We could have gone forward with 7 counts of murder, but this is all we could have ever hoped to solve. At the end of the trial, whatever the outcome, there would have been lingering doubts about the rest of these crimes. This agreement was an avenue to the truth about the Green River Killer. And in the end, the search for the truth is still why we have a criminal justice system. Ridgeway does not deserve our mercy. He does not deserve to live. The mercy provided by today's resolution is not for Ridgeway, but towards the families who have suffered so much." The judge sentenced him to 48 life sentences with no possibility of parole, and another life sentence to be served consecutively, which I don't understand that. I mean, you just sentenced him to 48 life sentences. I mean, you need to add another one. I mean, what's he coming back 48 times?
Right.
Just in case he comes reincarnated the 49th.
Exactly.
Now, he also sentenced him for 10 years for tampering with evidence for each of the 48 victims. So, adding up to 480 years plus 48 life sentences. Again, what is with the 480 years? The motherfucker ain't gonna live. I mean, that's just useless. That's just talk.
Yeah.
You can sentence him to life and just been done with it. Because if, you know... well, no, I guess that does actually add up, because if what you said, like what Washington's trying to do right now, where they overturn life sentences, he's still got to serve 480 years.
Right.
So it means he can never be released anyway.
Yeah.
Because they would still have to tack on the 480 years. Ridgeway led prosecutors to 3 bodies in 2003. On August 16th of that year, the remains of a 16-year-old girl was found in...
Yeah, it was 86 for all that DNA.
Was it?
Fingerprinting, yeah.
Okay. So, near Enumclaw, Washington, a 16-year-old girl was found in 2003, 40 feet from State Route 410. And it was Pammy Annette Event, and she is believed to be the last victim of the Green River Killer. And then they also found remains of Marie Malvar and April Buttram.
No.
Yes.
No.
B-U. Okay, how else would you say this name? Yes. B-U-T-T-R-A-M. Buttram.
Or Buttram.
Buttram.
But Buttram.
Either way,
it's
Buttram.
Exactly what it says.
Buttram.
Buttram.
Okay, even if you say it is Buttram, it's still Buttram. It's still...
Which turned out to be...
Her name is April Buttram.
You know, ironic last name, because her dead fucking body got butt-rammed.
Buttram by Ridgeway.
Jesus.
Okay.
This dude's got a boner and a butt ram.
Dude, and this is the thing. Think about this. He was born in 49. This is 2003. That's impressive alone that he's still being able to get it up for these prostitutes and runaways in 2003.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. He's getting hard-ons and still choking the shit out of women well into his 50s. How impressive
is it to get fucking hard for a dead body?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit.
So, in 2000...
a fucking bloated one.
In 2005, they found the skull of one of the 48 women that Ridgeway said he killed. The skull of another victim was found on November 20th, 2005, near Issaquah, southeast of Seattle. Ridgeway confessed to more confirmed murders than any other American serial killer. Over a period of 5 months of police and prosecutors' interviews, he confessed to 48 murders, 42 of which the police list as the Green River Killer.
I think you saved it.
I did.
But if you want to take a shot, folks, you can.
They released a videotape of Ridgeway's confession in 2004, and in the tape, he actually originally said that he killed over 65 women. In another taped interview in 2003, which Ridgeway upped the murder count to at least 71 victims, and confessed having sex with all of them before killing them. He acknowledged that he targeted prostitutes because they were easy to pick up and he hated them the most. He confessed that he had sex with his victims' bodies after he had murdered them, but later claimed that his later victims he began burying so that he could resist the urge to go back and have necrophilia with them. He later said that murdering young women was not only his art form, but his career.
Yeah. Yeah, it's art form. That's.
So, later on in life, he said that it disgusted him so much, fucking these dead, bloated, rotting corpses, that he had to bury them because otherwise he couldn't trust himself not to go back and fuck the dead, rotting corpses.
Right.
Yeah, he just had that taste. Had to have some of that dead, rotting, bloated meat.
I don't blame him.
So he had to,
that's better than gonorrhea-riddled sex wars.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, he is... Man. So we need to get onto I'm interested in how the hell Bundy came about in all this. Because, Bundy helping them catch Ridgeway almost sounds similar to Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, is that where they came up with that idea?
Well, here's some more things about Ridgeway before we get into that. He confessed finally to 89 murders. And Ridgeway's victims, this is why it was so hard to catch him. They were not of a specific race or ethnicity. They were all women between the ages of 14 and 26. So there was a huge age range, and there was all different races. He didn't discriminate. Black, white, Mexican, whatever. Whatever prostitute hit his fancy that night, whatever he's in the mood for, that's who he killed.
Right.
They were either prostitutes or runaways. At the time of his sentencing, they found at least 48 sets of remains, including victims not originally attributed to Ridgeway. So there is a lot of victims ranging. There was a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 23-year-old, 31-year-old, 17, 16, 16, 18, 15, 18, 15. The oldest one the youngest one, who died in 1983, was Wendy Stevens, and she was 14 years old. She was only 14 and a runaway. So, yeah, he was fucking 14-year-olds. They have actually, at this point, said that there could be upwards of hundreds to 200s, and they're not entirely sure exactly how many people he's killed. He's also been suspected in the disappearance and murders of several other women, not attributed at the time to the Green River Killer. There was an unknown black female, unknown age and unidentified. There was a 13-year-old that he killed, Christy Lynn Vorak, that they think he killed. There was another 15-year-old, Patricia Ann LeBach, Rosemary Curran, she was a 16-year-old, Darcy Ward, 16, and Cora McGurk, 22. And they believe he killed all these women, but they can't prove it, and he won't confess anymore.
Right.
Like I said, he confessed to 48, then he finally said 89, and then in a later interview in the middle 2000s, he finally said that there's so many he can't even tell you how many. So he said upwards of possible 200 or more.
Yeah.
So that's all the victims. Now, you were talking about Bundy. Now, the reason, again, they couldn't catch Ridgeway, let's start off with that, is because Ridgeway, again, moved the bodies. He would throw them off by planting different evidence here and there. And like you said, up until 86, they hadn't even started DNA profiling. Okay? And in 86, it was still in its infancy.
Yeah.
Okay? His DNA was taken back in 82. Okay? So it wasn't until 2003 that they could actually pinpoint his DNA with some of the victims. And it was the most recent victims. Because you got to think, most of these victims from the 80s, when they originally took his DNA, they're finding corpses that have been outside for a long time. Mm-hmm. So it almost seems like as he got older and he started burying the corpses, that's kind of what caught him up. Because when you bury a body, it's not out in the elements. So the DNA isn't corrupted anymore. Yeah. You're burying it. Mm-hmm. So if they find a fresh body buried and they find one of these bodies, then they've got DNA evidence against you.
Yep.
You got to figure back in the 80s and 90s when he was doing all these killings, and then even into the 70s, these bodies were left out in the open by the river. And like we said, humid, hot environment out in the woods. A lot of people don't go there. He dumped them, in the middle of nowhere. So by the time they found him, if they found him at all, and most of his victims haven't even to this day been found, or if they do find him, it's just right. The DNA's gone. Animals have got to him. Mm-hmm. I mean, now he left plenty of DNA. He's coming back and fucking them again.
Right,
but
still,
yeah, DNA's still gone by the time they find
it within a reasonable amount of time.
Right, because you're talking about most of these victims they found were just skeletons.
Yeah,
I mean, they're finding them years later. They're finding skulls from women that he admitted to murdering, and if they didn't even know if he hadn't admitted to them, they wouldn't have even known it was him. Yeah. That's why there's so many that they think he killed that they can't prove, because they keep finding bones and skulls around the areas where he dumped all his victims, but can't prove it because he won't say, yes, I did it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to push it because they already got the motherfucker for 48 life terms plus 408 years. So they're like, But so that was the problem of how it was so hard to find Ridgeway. And that's what's amazing about Ridgeway is he was so low IQ. But when it came to murdering and hiding a body and throwing the police off his trail, he was brilliant.
It was his art form, like you said, yeah.
So, in 1986... a detective named Dave Richard had been working on the Green River case for years. Despite 40 female victims, he still didn't have any reliable leads. When he got an offer in 1986 for help, he was wrote by one Mr. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy wrote, "Don't ask me why I believe I'm an expert in this area. Just accept that I am, and we will start from there." And that's classic Bundy, because Bundy was such a narcissist.
I love that, though.
Yeah. Bundy wrote to Richard from the Florida jail where he was, where he was on death row. Bundy had been reading about the Green River killers and saw Richard's photos in the story. At the time, Bundy had already been in prison for 6 years and was awaiting his death sentence. So Richard flies to Florida with fellow investigator Robert Keppel. who was also, interestingly enough, an investigator on the Bundy case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Keppel says in his book, Ted Bundy and I Hunt for the Green River Killer, he says that Bundy reached out to him and that he was the only one of the convicted killers that he would talk to. Bundy suggested and told them that the Green River Killer, who he called the Riverman, was going back to the sites where he dumped the bodies and was performing sexual acts, and suggested that the detectives stake out any fresh burial sites they might find. The sheriff, Richard, who spent 3 days interviewing Ridgeway alone, said he quickly realized that serial killers have a lot in common. Whether they kill prostitutes, as Mr. Ridgeway did, young boys, as John Wayne Gacy did, or young women, as Mr. Bundy did. The New York Times story also said both Mr. Bundy, who was put to death for the murder of the 3 women and confessed to killing at least 16 others, and Mr. Ridgeway were sexual predators who killed during and after sexually assault or having sex with the victims. Bundy also said that Ridgeway has no remorse and that he would go back again and again to have sex with the necrophiliac victims. So he said, look for fresh dump sites in the exact same areas and look for a person that returns to this area quite often.
Yeah.
So he said, first off, you need to look, Bundy said, you need to look at a person who knows the area really well, lives somewhere in the Washington, Oregon area. He knows it well enough to know where he can dump a body and get away with it. Secondly, you need to look at somebody who frequents the areas that you're doing, and Ridgeway did. Bundy also said, look for people that have been convicted of picking up prostitutes. And he also said, he is moving the bodies to different sites to throw you guys off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bundy also said he doesn't have any feelings towards anybody, his family included. And they said, though, it was kind of like Mr. Bundy was jealous of the attention that the Green River Killer was getting because he killed more people than Bundy could.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Bundy said, you also want to look at somebody who's proud of what they did. He's displaying them for you to find them, which Ridgeway was. Because Bundy said he's proud of it. He likes to show you his work. He said he craves attention and control, that he was prideful when he would discuss his killings. And it's interesting because when police actually got an unsolved murder to see if Ridgeway would confess, he told them, why, if it isn't mine? Because I have pride in what I do. I would never take it away from somebody else. So, Bundy basically laid out exactly how to find this guy in 1986. And they knew it was Ridgeway. They kind of knew it was Ridgeway. But they couldn't prove it was Ridgeway.
Yeah.
But Bundy laid out everything Ridgeway was doing right to the detectives in 86 from prison, just from reading the news articles.
Yeah.
He said, hey, he's moving the bodies. He's throwing you all off with other evidence. Look for fresh burial sites. This guy's coming back fucking them. You know, he's a narcissist just like me.
He's leaving them basically
posed for you guys to find.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Ridgeway was, like I said, probably one of the most prolific serial killers. And the reason why Ridgeway is so incredibly fascinating, besides the fact that he killed for so long and got away with it for so fucking many years, is the fact that he had such a low IQ. You know, you wouldn't expect, with Bundy, you kind of expect. Bundy was a fucking genius. Okay? But Bundy was also crazy. So you have a problem there because you have the insane side and then you have the genius side. Mm-hmm. But with Ridgeway, you wouldn't even expect that kind of thing for him to be that smart at hiding bodies and moving bodies when he has that low of an IQ.
Right.
For education purposes.
Yeah, you would expect that if he was a killer, that he would be really stupid and sloppy about it and easy to find.
Right. And Ridgeway expressed no emotions when he admitted to killing. He didn't care, except for the fact that
which
pride.
Bundy said that too.
Yeah. And he admitted to pride, though. Like he said to that detective, why would I admit to killing somebody I didn't kill?
Take that away from
somebody else. Like, it's an art form. Like, it's something to be proud of that you murdered all these women over a 50-year span.
It's like the only thing that he actually had remorse for was taking the credit from somebody else who also killed somebody.
Yeah. I don't want to take the credit from somebody else.
God damn it. Why would I do that? That's a horrible thing to do to somebody.
That's their killing. Damn it. Don't you try to pin that on me. That wasn't me.
They deserve the credit for that.
You're damn right.
Even though it was terribly done, sloppily done, nothing like I would have done it.
But you're right. It is almost like Silence of the Lambs. Because they went to Bundy and found out how to catch the fucking killer that they were talking about.
Right.
Yeah. And Bundy laid it all out for him. Here, this is how you're going to catch the guy. And what's crazy, though, is after he laid it all out for him, it still took him 12 years to fucking 13 years.
Right.
To get this guy in cuffs. Still took, he probably added another fucking 50 to 60 women before they could catch his ass.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he was killing the entire time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, clearly.
I said, he said if they were to let him out, he would do it again.
Well, when he was arrested... And after he was incarcerated, after his trial and everything, they were still coming up with victims that they found that they knew because they were in the dump sites and they were done just like he did it. They were finding victims left and right. And last I read, they're still finding victims. Mm. They're still finding bones and shit out there in by the Green River, out there in the parks from victims of this guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like we said before, man, it's a big, dense area.
Yeah. And you're talking about a guy who was literally killing from probably the 70s all the way to 2003. Yeah.
For 30 years, 49 he's convicted of. Yeah.
89 that he's admitted to.
He says it's actually more than he can count. So, it could be 500 women.
Yeah, easily. But the bottom line is he is the most prolific serial killer in United States history. I mean, he's killed more women.
Prolific meaning...
Yeah, more women. Yeah. He has killed more women than any other serial killer known. I mean, and like you said, a guy like that, you're right. If you let him out, first thing he's going to do is find him a hooker and kill her. Yeah. I mean, probably on the way out to prison. He probably ain't even going to make it back to Washington.
Yeah, it's just something he's not able to deal with. Some kind of... Well, I mean, obviously, there's some kind of mental.
First of all, he had to be
something going on because he knows that it's wrong.
Right.
He knows that he shouldn't be doing it. It's almost like that's the battle that he's losing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like these women are being killed. Yeah, but that's not even what it is that's driving him. You know what I'm saying? That's not like the driving factor. No. It's like this. It's like literally like this good versus evil.
Well, what he has...
that he can't turn off.
My point, or what I think it was, is like he had this unending sexual desire for dirty, filthy sex because his mother clearly molested him his whole entire youth and then beat his ass. Okay, he had this dirty need for dirty, filthy sex because he used to masturbate thinking about his mom and all this and all that. Okay, so because of that, he has this dirty drive for dirty sex. So then he picks up these slutty women that just fulfill that dirty sex need inside his head. But because he feels that having sex with prostitutes is wrong, then after he starts having sex with them, it's like a just a flip
Yeah.
of the switch, and he's like, I hate myself and I hate what I'm doing, and therefore I hate her because she's the one that made me want to do this.
Yeah.
So the only way he can cure that is by killing what made him want to commit the dirty act.
Yeah, again, it's a struggle within.
Mm-hmm.
So the struggle that everybody has, it really boils down to the basics. It's just the truth. Like the truth versus what you know is not true. His mom arousing him as a teenage boy.
Mm-hmm.
By washing his genitals because he's wet to bed is causing an arousal, right?
Right.
In his mind, it feels good.
Right.
But
he knows
he
it's
doesn't
wrong.
know how to process it because it feels good, but he knows it's wrong.
Right.
And because he doesn't know how to process it, right now, even when it's not happening, and he's having these sexual fantasies, as all teenage boys do. He's masturbating, thinking about his mom. Again, feels good. Externally.
Right.
While internally, this ain't right.
Right.
And if you don't fucking process that the right way, well, what happens is you could turn into, someone like Gary Ridgeway.
Well, then, if you couple that with the fact that he was already a sociopath, he already had no emotions, he already had no feelings of love or anything like that, could actually stab a little kindergartner when he was 16, right. Kill a cat when he's 7 years old.
And he's dealing with, competition with his brother.
Right.
Who is, being put on this pedestal, and while he's being told that he's just this dumb piece of shit, get
right.
on the short bus,
right.
or we're going to beat you with a belt or a stick.
Right.
I mean,
So on the one hand, he's sexually attracted to his mom. On the other hand, she's beating him all the time, telling him he's a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. So he's learning to hate women as he's growing up. Plus he has these feelings of feeling horrible. Then he goes to Nam, which fucks up his head even worse, and he fucks a hooker who gives him gonorrhea.
Yeah, and I've wondered this too, because you said, I think it was the part one you talked about when he went to Nam. I don't know if he was involved in the combat, but he saw a lot of combat.
Yeah, they said he saw a lot of combat, so he must have been involved in it. Even though he was a naval personnel, obviously he was in the combat.
I could see though, if you were in combat or you were, watching a lot. If you're watching multiple people lose their life,
mm-hmm.
whether it be in war or not, I could see how that would at some point probably numb you.
Yeah, numb you to death.
Death. You know what I mean? Like that's why you would have no remorse for killing these. Yeah.
Well, not only that, you got to think. Like I said, again, going back to the prostitute Nam, he had sex with her. Again, feels good, gets gonorrhea. Gonorrhea feels bad.
Yeah.
So that just reinforces that internal conflict of, yes, I want to do this, but there's going to be negative consequences.
But they just want to hurt me.
Right. Yeah. And then you add this hyper-religious nut shit that was drilled into his head after Nam.
Yeah.
And so now you've got the perfect storm. You've got a guy who craves all this weird sex with dirty, slutty young women, but then the biblical teachings teach you that you're going to hell if you do this.
Yeah.
So while he's having sex with them, it kicks in his head, this is wrong, God hates me now, I'm a horrible person for giving into my sexual desires. And he doesn't really hate the women he's killing, he hates himself.
Yep.
But he kills them to take out the frustration that he has internally going on in his head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So he wants these young women, but he can't regulate his own mind to wrap it around that. He would just been better off if he just, had sex with a lot of young women and just dealt with it.
It's just a lot of inner conflict, a lot of inner confusion and turmoil, and that, raping and killing and all these women was just kind of how he externalized it.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that he has no remorse and, he admits to 48 killings, but he still has a hard time admitting that the things that happened as a child between him and his mom don't play any part in it.
Yeah.
That I find that odd.
Yeah, it's like he almost can't admit to it. Yeah, he's in denial about all the stuff he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, admit to 48, hell, he admitted to 48 legally. He admitted to a lot more later on.
That's what I meant, yeah.
So many he doesn't even know. So, yeah. But, yeah, he can't say that, yeah, my mother molested me. Because even though he hated his mom on a lot of levels, clearly, and even said he fantasized about killing her, he cannot ever say something bad about his mother.
Man, she must have been a real control freak.
Oh, yeah, she must have been a piece of fucking work, dude.
On these motherfuckers.
Yes, she did. But what's weird is you got to take into account, though, some of his... it's got to be genetics, too. It can't just be that. Because the same two people also raised two other boys who didn't turn into serial killers.
Right.
I mean, he had two brothers, and neither one of them are serial killers. Now... we don't know if maybe they beat their wives and had a lot of trouble in that. Maybe they,
have other
have other issues, but they didn't go around killing women.
Right.
Right. It was almost like, see, you got to have the messed up childhood, but you also got to have something in your brain that fucks with you. You see, on most of these serial killers. Now, again, as we've discussed before, Bundy was rare because
kind of the
Bundy,
exception.
Yeah, Bundy had a perfect childhood. Bundy was completely and totally insane. There's no other way to say that. Bundy had a perfect childhood, was extremely intelligent, and for all accounts grew up perfect. And Bundy was just completely out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
There was absolutely nothing external to create what Bundy was. That's why Bundy was such a enigma in the serial killer world, because like you said, most of these serial killers, Edmund Kemper, Eileen Wuornos, Dahmer, Gacy, Gary Ridgway, all of these, even the one that I did on my own, the Darren Vaughn guy, again, all had things in their past that contributed to them becoming the serial killer they became.
Right.
Usually it's an abusive parent or abusive mother, or abusive father, whatever it was. But that contributed to who they became later on in life and why they killed people. With Bundy, there was none of that. I mean, so that's why Bundy's an enigma. Gary Ridgway's fascinating because, well, first of all, any guy that can go back and fuck bloated, decaying corpses in Seattle, Washington out in the wild 2 months after the dump there is insane to begin with. That's just out of your mind. I mean, that right there is God.
And he's killed the most.
Yeah, and he's killed the most. And he got away with it the longest.
He did it for such a long period of time,
Yeah. I mean, Bundy did commit necrophilia, but at least Bundy only went back like a few weeks. He didn't wait months. He wasn't
sick. He wasn't dirty.
He wasn't waiting until they were fucking rotting.
Kept it sanitary.
Yeah. Bundy wasn't waiting until they were rotting and fucking flesh falling off their bones and still just fucking the shit out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ridgway's waiting until they're fucking decaying and nothing but goo.
Ugh.
I mean, at a certain point, the pussy couldn't even feel good.
No.
It had to be nothing but squoosh. Think about that. Think about sticking your dick
I can't. It's
in a woman
crazy,
sitting outside for 2 months in the weather elements. Imagine what I've seen pictures of bodies they've pulled out of rivers and shit within a few days.
I know.
And they're just bloated, blue, disgusting. Yeah. Right. I've seen bodies that they found after a few days out in the elements, and they're just totally wrecked. Like, they're halfway unrecognizable as a human being.
Yeah.
This motherfucker 2 months later is going back and fucking a corpse that is sitting outside, man. I mean, at a certain point, you're just fucking goo. You might as well stick your dick in silly putty at that point. I mean, you might as well get a Play-Doh jar. I mean,
it is, man. I can wrap my mind around it. Pretty much anything.
But that's
hard to wrap your mind around, man.
How would you?
It's hard.
I mean,
it's hard to put myself in the place of Gary Ridgeway.
You would have to be so out of your fucking mind insane that you just have to be beyond.
Yeah, I can't imagine that fantasy at all.
No, there's nothing.
I mean, I can wrap my mind around killing somebody, raping somebody, all of that. Right? We can all wrap our minds around that.
Well, I wouldn't do it, but yeah,
I'm not saying you could do it.
Yes, but I could see how someone might
fantasize about it.
Well, I don't, but go on.
But yeah, going back and fucking a dead body. Yeah. I just don't see.
I've never
feeling that.
I don't ever think fucking a dead body has never appealed to me. I've never in my life understood that particular weirdness. Rape's not really nothing that ever appealed to me. Now, killing somebody, I fantasize about that. If I really dislike them, yeah. I fantasize about maybe choking a motherfucker's brains out.
I'm not saying I'm sitting here like, oh man, I really want to rape. No. you can, if you could put yourself into the frame of mind is what I'm saying.
I could put myself into a frame of mind where a person might get to the point where they would rape somebody.
Right.
Or where they might get to the point where they might kill somebody, especially if it's a reason. Now, killing somebody randomly, I don't know if I could put myself in that frame of mind because I've never just randomly saw somebody and thought, I'd really like to choke
kill somebody today,
Yeah, never been there. But like you said, to go back and rape a fucking corpse. To rape a corpse, first off, is just insane. But to go back and rape a corpse that's been sitting out in the elements for 2 months, that's a hell no. Because, I mean, if you're even... just the thought of the gases coming out of the bloated corpse as you're pushing... Yeah! The smell alone would stop you.
Crazy.
Plus, as you're pushing against the... oh Lord. Lordy Jesus.
Yeah, I'm done talking about it.
Yeah, we're done.
So.
Okay, I'm done. Now that I've successfully grossed everybody out on the podcast.
We've talked about fucking dead bodies for just about long enough.
Oh, that's enough of that. Well...
That's Gary Ridgeway for you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 61, and you probably should have turned it off about 5 minutes ago. But
just wow.
I apologize for the last 5-minute interlude. It's impossible to wrap my mind around how crazy you have to be to do these things. It really is. Yeah. Like Edmund Kemper, it's hard to believe that you would actually be able to decapitate somebody and still put your hard cock